you've got some good stuff going on there, David.
Yeah, that story was not forever lit. Let's get to...
That was not great. It's not my best work.
Tell us what you tried to name the MP3 again.
Intro for GPP.mp3.
I don't understand why you had to tell us that.
It's just a nice little note people can see behind the scenes.
Worse than GPP sizing. Let's get
Nothing is worse.
Yes, much worse. By the way, site's been selling out.
No, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. You say CSV on this show, everyone's tuning out.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to the show. This is the Fantasy Insiders GPP Breakfast of Champions here on fantasyinsiders.com. I'm David Kitchen. Would like to welcome our guest today. The guest, it's Davis Mattek with a new haircut. Didn't recognize you there, fellow.
Hello,
Adorbs.
Kitchen.
You are a Dorbs. And then with the same haircut, the same swag. Vince Long at Wake Work Wake on Twitter. Guys, it's man.
I don't want to talk about it at all. I think we should just move on to the Wednesday night slate.
Rough Tuesdays. So I just want to get to start. Before we start, just go sign up for the Baseball Info Solutions projections on our site. They have back tested the projections, added even more stuff. Davis, do you know about dibs? Of course you don't know about dibs.
No, I don't.
Do you know about dips?
No, but I know that James Johnson only got 16 DraftKings points.
Their defensive independent position system points. Well, basically it is a sabermetric factor about trajectory, where the ball's being hit, and that's what's being incorporated in the projections this year. And it's not just they're just throwing it out there. They back tested it. So what that means is that they put in what worked and they took out what did not work. So the best projections just got even better. All right, let us talk about real quick this slate. I just want to say I was wrong about a few things. I thought the Chicago-Toronto game would be a mess. I thought the Miami and Phoenix game would be kind of nice. It was
that game looked good.
It was the exact opposite. And the worst possible scenario played out in Miami. The starters were outscored 40-19 in the first half. Miami starters were. And then Ulis was terrible for my FanDuel squads. So what you had was Dragic and Ulis, and then James Johnson. Rough. And then I made like 100 teams for the layup on FanDuel. And I was like, oh, Tyler Johnson's up there? Exclude. He's the one that went off. Yeah, such is life.
I really am so tilted.
Yeah, I am too. This is one of the worst. As far as FanDuel goes, that's probably the worst cash team I could put together. And I made the late 2v2 swap of because Miro was starting, I downgraded Tobias to Miro, and then that allowed me to upgrade from Rondo to Ulis.
Ooh, micro machine, Tyler Ulis. Doesn't Rondo just like print every game now? Just feels like Rondo just smashes every game.
He's been solid. I have him on a few tourney teams right now. They're doing fairly well. So.
Plus, Rondo was the obvious play because it was a national TV game.
This is true. And Jimmy Butler. And on the opposite side, DeMar DeRozan finally goes off. And then Rolo and Serge get
career high 8 assists for DeRozan.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if it's a career high.
So I think he's had like a triple-double one time.
I'd be careful about saying stuff like that on this show.
The walking triple-double DeMar DeRozan.
All right. So let us talk about this situation, though, in Chicago, because they have to play on Wednesday.
Rolo will not. No way Rolo can play after that.
No way they let him play.
Yeah.
He threw a punch. Can't throw a punch in the NBA.
When's the last time y'all saw an NBA fight with actual punches thrown? Now, neither one of them landed, but, when's the last time y'all saw punches thrown? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was actually.
I mean, it's just any sort of punch, kick, anything. It's automatic suspension ever since the Malice at the Palace.
If there's somebody that I'd probably be scared of, it might be Robin Lopez. Like, truly.
I was gonna say Ibaka. Ibaka is, to me,
I'm not worried about
he's the
Ibaka.
winner.
Sir,
Ibaka he's from the Congo. His parents got killed in a civil war.
Just look at Robin Lopez, and you're kind of scared of that guy a little bit. Like, he's kind of crazy.
No, he's brothers. He's brothers with Brooke Lopez. Like, no one ever beat him up growing up because Brooke's so soft.
I bet Robin's a little bit nuts. Like, a little bit nuts.
All right. Let's talk about this situation, though. In Chicago, Mirotic obviously did not have a good game, but he did start. Felicio actually took a pretty decent fall, but he came back. However, we're not sure what his status is because he did come out of the game. So what's the Chicago game going to look like, Davis?
I mean, it's going to be ugly. I would assume Felicio is going to start at center. I think that's what Hoiberg will do. I don't think that's any guarantee that Felicio will play the equivalent to Robin Lopez's minutes. I think that Hoiberg is one of the most unpredictable coaches in terms of role. And when Drummond is not on the court, they don't need a true center in there.
Right.
They don't need a true center in there against Lure. And Baines just does, like, for Baines' 11 minutes, like, it's whatever. So it's really just when Drummond's in there that Felicio will need to play.
I think if you're going for upside in the situation, you go right back to the well with Nico because I think he could play multiple positions in this matchup. But Laverne probably has more upside than Felicio.
I think Joffrey is the most valuable guy.
Laverne could play. I mean, Laverne has been DNP CD'd, and Laverne has played 3 minutes. But Laverne probably does have more upside than Felicio.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that, but I would say there is the potential there.
Yeah.
So
Laverne could start. Who knows what Hoiberg's going to do? Laverne could start.
Keep an eye on the news. Rondo, though, still 5,700 because it's a back-to-back.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and jam that guy in. Did you see what Reggie Jackson did against Brooklyn? Ooh.
No, but Brooklyn's really bad.
He had like 12 points. Like, that's it. Ish Smith was the guy that went off for Detroit.
Yeah, I'm done with that backcourt, honestly. KCP kills my soul, too, sometimes, so it is what it is.
He was fairly decent. All right, let's go over these games. I'm going to give you some games. You tell me yay or nay. Charlotte at Orlando.
Nah. There's going to be something there.
I kind of like this one. Indy at Boston.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that one.
It's okay.
Okay. Philly at OKC.
That I like. I like a lot. Yeah. No, I like Philly guys.
They're all in play. This is a good game, yeah.
Atlanta, Sands, Millsap, and Bazemore against Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to keep Torian Prince is going to get me one of these days.
I don't understand how this is only a 7-point spread, to be honest. Because Atlanta has been getting blown out. And they play at Washington. Oof. All right, Detroit at Chicago.
Value.
Yeah.
Cleveland at Denver.
Awesome.
Yeah, that one's going to be
super
pretty
fun.
good.
This is in Denver, correct?
And Cleveland is only favored by 4. That strikes me as maybe a rest spot.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just that Denver has been that good at home. They just have had some really close losses. I think
Denver's sneaking into the playoffs, man. Like,
if anybody rests, it's K-Love. If you watch that last game that he played in against the Lakers on Sunday night.
Well, they want him to be resting, and I haven't looked at the schedule. Do the Cavs play on Thursday? If the Cavs play on Thursday,
I think FantasyInsiders.com has a tool for that, though.
We do have a tool for that.
That's crazy.
Let me.
Well, because if they play on Thursday, I know that they do not play on Thursday. All right, so Love's not going to rest.
There's only 2 games for a back-to-back, and I think they play each other.
Yeah, but I guess just to go forward, so part of Kevin Love's like rehab from his injury is they don't necessarily want him playing back-to-backs while they can avoid it.
Which is smart. I mean, for sure. Wouldn't they want to get him back in game shape, like to a certain extent before the playoffs, though? Like, there's only 3 weeks left, something like that?
I think it's more important for them to get him to the playoffs healthy.
Just healthy, yeah. I mean, for sure. That makes sense.
All right. Yeah, no one's playing on the front end of a back-to-back except for the Knicks.
And the Knicks aren't really resting guys
Right,
anyways.
and they have Portland the next day. So I don't think you have to worry about that. Going back to K-Love, though, he just looked like he had to take a walk on a few fouls where there was any sort of contact. He had do a whole big walk around the court, and you could tell that he was in pain. I would not be surprised if he did sit. But you have to keep in mind that Denver, they've been playing really well, especially at home. They just have been losing these really close games. So
they've been playing really well shorthanded too, which is saying something. I mean, right. I think it's a lot to do with Jokic. I think it's a lot to do with Barton right now, but it's a good team, man. You got to give them respect.
Jokic, Barton, and Gary Harris too. Gary Harris.
Yeah, Gary Harris has been incredible.
Has been nice. All right, let's go with Milwaukee at Sacramento.
I like that one. It's a little low total, which is actually kind of surprising to me, but
yeah,
I do like that
Have
game.
the Kings been playing slow since the trade?
I think
a little,
have to.
And then the Knicks at Utah. Ooh, gross.
Whatever.
That's the.
You just have to account for the patient. This is just the normal thing. And Rudy Gobert, Gordon Hayward.
Rudy Gobert.
I would actually play Gobert in this.
Hey, Rudy Gobert and Gordon Hayward won TJ $100,000 2 nights.
And then he broke his hand.
Yeah. So yeah, we wouldn't be surprised there. Davis, hit us up with some injuries.
All right. All the same injuries for Charlotte apply. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is probable with his ankle injury. Jahlil Okafor is questionable with this right knee soreness that has a sort of cascading effect. And also it's not listed on the official injury report, but do keep an eye on stuff going on with their wings because they've rested Gerald Henderson. And so that could shake up their backcourt a little bit. But Paul Millsap is going to remain out. Cristiano Felicio is actually listed, David, as questionable, and Robin Lopez he's not going to play.
Right.
So
he doesn't expect to play. That's what he says.
Yeah. So we're going to have, if Felicio doesn't play, we're going to have a lot of minutes in that front court for Joffrey Laverne, for Mirotic, and Portis would actually play the backup five, I project. Danilo Gallinari is doubtful. Darrell Arthur and Wilson Chandler are questionable. So they're going to keep running out that weird lineup, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how effective it is. I need to go look. Michael Beasley not playing for Milwaukee, and Shelvin Mack and Derek Favors are questionable for Utah. And I see Carmelo here with a note, but I don't know what it is, so I'm going to ignore it.
Okay, nice. Thank you for that.
Normally those notes on the injury thing that I look at or correspond to something, but when I click,
it says his minutes are expected to be reduced over the last 12 games.
Thank you, Vince.
All right, let's take a look at the point guard position, and again, Rondo just. I know it's a back-to-back, but. The back-to-back games, the second game, they don't price adjust. They just keep it as is. So
Rondo is the smash play here. I think he's going to be very chalky.
He's got the same price, and then the question is with Felicio now, with Rondo, even with Zipser, with these Chicago guys, Mirotic. Is Russell Westbrook, are you going to pay up for him an 11-point spread against
He did
Philly?
me so dirty the other night.
Oh, he did me so dirty. I mean, I had him on both sides. Yeah.
290 on DraftKings with 37 from Russ. Should have been rich. Was not rich.
I think on FanDuel, you're just going to start with Westy and Rondo and then can go for it. I was messing with that before we started recording. I hadn't got the DraftKings yet. I think there's plenty of value, especially if the cheap centers come into play. I mean, Rondo's in a great spot, but Westbrook, it's Westbrook versus Philly. He could have a triple-double at half. So I think the upside's still there. I wouldn't be shocked to see this game stay close. Philly's been playing really good ball lately, and OKC has not, in my opinion. So I think that 11-point spread is actually kind of steep, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess. It's Philly. It just depends on –
I can just see let me just say I can see guys playing into the fourth is probably the best way to say that. I can see Russ playing in the fourth.
I don't think Oklahoma City is 11 points better than anybody right now.
That's kind of what I'm saying. And especially, Philly's been playing really well. They're not like Denver.
They're frisky. They're frisky.
They go out there and they play ball. They don't care. They've got some good pieces on that team. I still believe that.
Yeah, TJ McConnell is garbage, but the rest of the guys they run out there as starters are really not bad.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think like Lubaro, Cabarro, and Stauskas they're not good.
Well, their backcourt's not great, but their front court rotation is actually kind of impressive.
Covington, Holmes, and Saric are all like really good NBA players.
I really like Covington. I like Sarge too. I've preached about him on this podcast, but Covington's a guy that I've liked. His defense is something that separates him.
Sarge did me dirty the other night because he got in foul trouble. He was going to smash, and he got like 5 fouls in the second half. It was so tilting. The game went into overtime. And so then Holmes was nice, but he's so heavily owned. I think Okafor is going to own the keys to this the value slate, opening up, because if Okafor is out again, you're just going to be playing Holmes and probably Covington. Again, Sarge is in play as well.
Holmes is just so good when he starts.
He had never played above 30 minutes before that game.
42, 24 and 14. Oh, was so goat.
Yeah, and so
is it crazy that he would be like a legit fade? Like, it's this is a great spot to fade him in GPPs.
Yeah, no, against Adams and Cantor, I agree.
And just, after a monster game like that, like his own percentage is going to be through the roof. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think he's a great cash play, obviously, if Okafor's out, but I think it's a GPP consideration. Like a fade is a consideration for me in GPPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mock me.
No, yeah, and then give a big hole yawn. Good.
We're just hanging out. This is a little. Nate's not here, so I don't need to be like keyed up and ready to attack anybody.
We're just having some fun. Giannis also in play against Sacramento on DraftKings.
Giannis has just been like brutal though.
He has been. Did you see in the first quarter he had like a 1.5 in that first rotation?
I don't know. I'm not really considering him right now.
1.5, but he had 22 in the second quarter.
I really like where his price is going now.
Right, and that's why you're.
Middleton is really siphoning off that usage.
I was genuinely worried about Giannis's ankle heading into Tuesday's game. I really didn't think he was going to play, but I'm a fan of him against Sacramento. But I'd probably play him at small forward, just given the other options that you can play at point guard. So.
Yes, agreed. And just as a flyer, TJ McConnell is only 5,400 on DK. If Okafor is out, he just gets a lot of minutes coming off a double. So
McConnell or Nelson?
I'm going to take Nelson.
David is the biggest Jameer. In this chat,
I like Jameer, man.
Every night, David's like, "You guys just got to play Jameer."
Jameer,
did you play him on the Houston game where he smashed?
Yeah, I did.
Good
and he was 4,300. Oh, so
good
nice.
For you.
So nice.
What do y'all think about Brogdon against Sacramento?
I'm just not a big Brogdon guy.
Okay.
Shooting guard eligible, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
it's just like one of those 5K plays that you on DraftKings. Sometimes I feel like often I actually fall in I need a 5K guard or 5K util, and just one of those type of guys that fits in that area.
And shooting guard is pretty thin. It's like Zipser is like, okay, he should play more. Brogdon is like, okay. Fournier, Hardaway Jr. I actually like, and then like Avery Bradley, but I don't want to spend on Jimmy or Batum, I don't think.
Do you like Depot against Philly? Because that's kind of who I've been flocking towards. He's been playing pretty well lately.
I think I would rather play Hardaway Jr. over him, but I don't have like a big problem with it.
Yeah.
All right. We got to talk about Jimmy Butler on DK.
Because do you think he'll end up being kind of chalky with all those injuries?
8,900. I mean, I think even on a back-to-back, he's going to be fairly chalky. If Wilson Chandler is out, and Gallinari, we presume, is going to be out, then I do think that you have to look at Gary Harris.
I'm so like, I know Garris has been fine, but I'm just like so sick of him like at that range every night and like feeling like he's like a fade because I never want to pay $6K for Gary Harris.
Yeah. Paying 6.3 for Gary Harris is something I never thought I'd have to do or even consider.
I'd rather play Avery Bradley.
Like, I considered not playing Gary Harris when he was like 4.3. So this is just, I mean, but he's been incredible. So I hate that. I really do. Harris or Depot?
Man, I don't know.
Given injury news, everything is the same. I would lean Depot, but
yeah,
if Chandler's out, I would lean Gary Harris.
Okay. I have no issue with that.
The matchup is better. The matchup is better. I think Oladipo's output is just very inconsistent in general because if Westbrook's just having one of those games, Depot's going to get you 24 DraftKings points.
Absolutely. I mean, that's accurate, but given the matchup, the upside is there. Like, I could see Cleveland kind of taking Harris and maybe even Barton out of this mix. So, I don't know. It's a tough call for me.
By the way, I did want to mention for point guards, Elf as a GPP play. He had a really good game in overtime last game against Philly. However, he got 3 early fouls. So the game could have been much better. He just is a walking triple-double pretty much these days.
I love him. I absolutely love him.
Going up against Kemba, and on the opposite side on FanDuel, I mean, this is pretty much a FanDuel play for me, but Kemba and Elf are definitely in play. For shooting guards, it's whatever.
Catch up to me and Vince. Vince and I just spent we just talked about shooting guards for 7 minutes when you twiddled your thumbs.
No, I know, and I talked about Gary Harris, and I talked.
Vince and I are what you would call podcast professionals. We know how to keep a podcast moving on in a timely order.
That's what I should be labeled as. That's hilarious.
A timely order. Zipser, though, is completely in play for me.
Zipser's probably a lock if he's going to play 30 minutes.
And you can either play him at the shooting guard or small forward spot. And then the guy that I put him in my FanDuel lineup on Tuesday night, Chris Middleton, and he's smashing again. So I think
Middleton, I would play Middleton for his money over Giannis for his money right now.
I can't argue with that, actually. I mean, it makes sense. The upside obviously belongs to Giannis, and that's kind of what I'm always leaning towards anyway. So paying up for that doesn't bother me.
Hey, Terrence Ross got his groove back in the overtime.
Oh my God, I want TJ to play Terrence Ross so bad.
In all seriousness, Taurean Prince is in play on FanDuel, but not really on DraftKings. Agreed?
Where is his price on DraftKings? I did everything on FanDuel.
Davis?
He is $5K on DraftKings.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Good on
because he's coming off the bench. Like, he's playing minutes, but like anytime you get into bench guys, like getting into 5K who don't have like a real solid role, you're playing with fire.
And LeBron James is in play.
Oh, no one knew who Braun was. Thank you for clarifying that it's LeBron James.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, do you want to give another yawn again? Do you want to yawn on the podcast, you podcast professional?
Podcast professional. Small forward, though, I will say this. Paul George is in play, and I never play Paul George. Paul George and Gordon Hayward, 2 guys who I never say are in play here.
Nah. Paul George, no.
Give me Rocco over both of them, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Rocco is the chalk, I think.
mean, Paul George, gross.
Hey, what are you guys doing with Sacramento right now? Are you just, not playing any of them? Because I think Buddy Hield is interesting.
Yeah, no, Buddy and
WCS.
Yeah, Willie Cauley-Stein for – yeah.
And then Scal for tournaments.
Ugh.
I mean,
I haven't gone down that road yet.
I mean, he can legitimately be DNP CD'd, but they're letting him shoot some threes, and he's rebounding, and he has a 50-pointer in there.
I hope everybody got it on that train because I haven't done it yet. But I get what you're saying. He is a tournament play for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you have money to blow,
Yeah, if you're making 150 lineups in like whatever they're calling the tournament that's on DraftKings tomorrow, you just throw in a couple scout teams, like 5 scout teams.
All right, power forward. Who we got?
Hang on, real quick. Kitchen, Barton, yes or no? Yes or no?
That's a nah wave.
He's
for me.
just so a 7,500. And I get the upside, but with LeBron James like on the opposite side, probably just gonna give it the nah wave as well.
I'm good with that.
Because I mean, he's gonna be playing the small forward spots.
Yeah, but he's gonna be playing the like off the bench small forward spot, so that kind of changes rotation stuff.
Yeah, there's gonna be a.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I was just curious.
Oh, there it is, Davis. There it is. Another
I'm sleepy,
one.
dude. I'm sleepy. I've been grinding.
Hey, keep it going. I bet you have, fella.
See, no one would even know if you didn't. If you didn't point it out.
No, this is going to be on video. You call me out, I'm going to call you out, fella.
How over under 2.5 more weeks that the video show gets posted on YouTube?
No, we're keeping it going.
All right, hey. Whatever you need, buddy.
We are keeping going. Speaking of the show, we would love it as we take a break before we get to Power Forward and Centers. We'd love it if you went on iTunes and gave us a review. We got some reviews in. Davis, have you checked them out?
No, I hope that they're saying nice things about you.
Great show. Helps you keep up with all the news each and every day. They're great hosts and easy to relate to. They add a lot of humor to my day. The way Soccer Dave ridicules Davies Mattek. Davies Mattek. I spell my name on this show so people can follow me on Twitter. Come on, guys. Is quite enjoyable. I do take Davies' advice, though, and roster the walking triple-double Mr. Paul Millsap each and every slate. If I only had $1 for each of Millsap's triple doubles, I'd be able to enter the and one on. That's a great line. If only had $1 for every one of his.
Nate's getting roasted. I love it.
Plus, I get to listen naked. That was how they ended it.
Great. We love it, guys. Keep them coming.
Great pod, guys. Keep it up. Love the new intro music, by the way. That from David Garrigan. And then the rest are just talking about triple doubles.
I love that the intro music, when I search for it on my computer, it's just called Forever Lit.
Yeah, that's why it's like
somehow Mattek, because I tried to change the name of it on my computer, but it doesn't show up when I search for intro for GPP MP3. It still shows up as Forever Lit. So you got some good stuff going on there, David.
Yeah, that story was not forever lit. Let's get to...
That was not great. It's not my best work.
Tell us what you tried to name the MP3 again.
Intro for GPP.mp3.
I don't understand why you had to tell us that.
It's just a nice little note people can see behind the scenes.
That's worse than GPP sizing. Let's get
Nothing is worse.
Yes, much worse. By the way, site's been selling out.
No, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Fine. You say CSV on this show, everyone's tuning out.
Let's talk about power forwards.
It's weird. There are no studs. It's like Saric, Willie Cauley-Stein, and
but there's like a million power forward plays. Like
Ersan's 4,500 on FanDuel. Why?
I think he's lock. Yeah. He got stuck in a blowout the other night and still grinded out 22.
Yeah, Why did they not raise his price? So mad.
I mean, this is what FanDuel does. They hike a guy's price once and they just leave him there for a year.
Mirotić, Bobby Portis for that Bulls team. Ersan even at 5.5K, but then you've got Willie Cauley-Stein against this Milwaukee squad. 6,100.
Dude, David, Thad, back-to-back 23, 24-point games. Just lock that Thad sick usage.
I put him in a FanDuel lineup, and he crushed the first quarter. And someone mentioned me in our Platinum chat, said, hold. I'm like, wait, I don't really have. I'm like, oh, gosh. If I won with a Thad Young lineup. No worries, though.
After you badmouthed him on the show.
Yeah, no worries. He didn't do anything after that. Willie Cauley-Stein's definitely in play on DK. Sarge is my boy. I'm going to continue to go back to that well, even if he did get in foul trouble last game.
If you're looking for like a little like lower owned type guy, I think on FanDuel you can play Cantor. I like his upside against Philly. He had like 38 DraftKings points against them last time they played. I just think there's some upside there.
And Rocco is 7,300, and you can play him as a power forward. I do like the options of like potentially.
I might play Rocco over Saric, honestly.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. Honestly, either. But
I do like I like Tobias and Markieff both at like that 6K range.
Yeah, Tobias is fine. He did well against Brooklyn. He kind of got healthy. Against Chicago, we just don't know what that game is going to look like. I don't mind it though.
If Love is active, is he in play? I really like this matchup, and he absolutely dismantled LA.
I don't know if he'll get the minutes.
Why?
Like just because I think they're kind of managing him.
How many minutes did he get last game?
26.
Yeah. That's not great.
42 DraftKings points. I mean,
it's
just a really good
great
matchup. Yeah. I just think it's worth like a consideration for GPP, but there's so many other plays that you might not even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Did you see Jokic's price tag on FanDuel where he's power forward eligible?
I assume it's insane.
10-3.
Yep.
That's a little rich.
I mean, he is a walking triple-double. You just don't get bonus points for it. I think if you are going cheap at other positions, that's where you spend on as far as.
Why do they still have him at power forward on FanDuel? It's been, the whole season,
because he's playing with Mason Plumlee and Nurkic.
Yeah, but that just started. Like, he's been the center
it's insane.
for an extended period of time.
Sarcasm, Vince.
What?
Davis was being sarcastic when he said he's playing with Mason.
Oh, okay. We were just having a discussion. Thanks, though, Kitchen. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we were just trying to talk like serious basketball, like positioning and I don't know
because there's two power forward spots and they need as many power forwards as possible because they screwed it up. They should have one shooting guard and two centers. That's my story.
No, they should have two. They should just add in an extra center.
Okay.
Or even better, a util spot.
Sure. All right. Let's go to the center position and tell me who you like, Davis.
I like Jokic for tournaments. I would not play him in cash. I think Gobert is probably the strongest cash game
he's
center.
He's going to be, especially with favors. He's going to be the lock.
I just don't see a way around playing him in cash. I do like Monroe against Sacramento. I like Willie Cauley-Stein against the Bucks a lot. Both of the Bulls guys I think will end up being kind of chalky. And then Cody Zeller with Miles Plumlee out, dude, he's playing a lot for his price tag. He's playing 30 minutes a game, and Cody Zeller's better than a $4,800 player.
He's playing a lot, but have you seen what he's doing?
Hornets just kind of seem like they're in a funk right now.
He even got the minutes last game. I think he only had 22 FanDuel points.
He had 14 against Atlanta on DraftKings.
Talk to Nate about Cody Zeller. He'll just he'll tell you all the great things Cody Zeller
some people were like, who's a good pivot on DraftKings off of Rashawn Holmes is Cody Zeller, same price.
I mean, anyone who faded Rashawn Holmes in that spot is a donkey.
Agreed. But you look at his last few game logs, he had that 37.25 in 33 minutes. Last game, 22 minutes, 14.25, probably due to the blowout. But against Indy, he had 21 points. He's just – the upside might be a little bit limited. And Vooch might just eat him up, to be honest. I could see that.
Vooch had a huge game the other night.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. That's Vince's boy. Vince loves some Nikola Vucevic.
He was in the fantasyinsiders.com cheat sheets on the night he had a monster game. So
he's had 48.75 points the past two games.
He's pretty good at basketball.
Hey, Vince.
Hey, man.
Nice job on those cheat sheets, by the way.
Hey, thanks, bud. Appreciate it, man. Hey, so I know we're going to be focusing on the Chicago value here, but on the other side, don't you think Drummond could just rip apart both of these guys?
Yes.
I think that's plenty of upside. I know he's on the road, but, Chicago's on a back-to-back. It should be just a messy game. I think Drummond could find a nice game in this price range. He's under 8K, so.
Here's my question. Does Drummond have upside anymore?
Yes. Drummond has 20 and 20 in him still. I mean, he had 18 and 18 in his last game.
He does, but it's ugly. I see your point, Kitchen, but I think in this spot against Joffrey Laverne and Cristiano Felicio and Bobby Portis, he's got 20-20.
Yeah. Okay.
He's put up at least 47 fantasy points 5 times in his past 10.
Okay.
And the Bulls are trash. The Bulls are almost as trash as the Warriors.
And they're about to get trashier.
Ooh, I like it.
Usually pay extra for that.
Yeah, Robin Lopez is actually like good. I don't know if people know that, but he is.
He's been since Wade went out. He has been fairly decent, and he was having a good game too before he went out. That's the thing.
I think he's just a smart basketball player.
Yeah,
Can't say
he
that
just
a lot,
knows.
though.
He just knows where to be and what to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. All right. Any other plays?
Not you, Kitchen. You're not in play. You're not in play.
Any other plays before Davis goes to bed?
Don't talk to me like that.
It's your bedtime, fella. Got your haircut. You look.
The haircut looks nice, Davis.
Yeah.
The haircut looks nice.
Seriously, you are going to get so many more Tinder dates with that haircut.
I got a girlfriend, fella.
Not for long. You know what I'm saying? All right. That'll do it for the show. We appreciate everybody tuning in. If you have any sort of feedback for us, hit us up on Twitter at Fantasy Insiders.
No, just give us your feedback via iTunes
Well,
reviews.
no, I mean, if it's bad feedback, just hit us up on Twitter or info@fantasyinsiders.com, the email address.
My DMs on Twitter are open.
They're open for me as well. So with that being said, please check out the BIS, the baseball projections. I'm telling you, there's not going to be anything better than these projections out there this year. Just going to call it the best publicly available DFS MLB projections.
Bang,
All right,
bang.
I'm Dave. What's that, Davis?
Bang, bang.
And with that, I'm David Kitchen on behalf of Davis Mattek and Vince Long. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow on the GPP Breakfast of Champions here on FantasyInsiders.com.